How do you get over someone you love? It's not an easy question. It's not a question that a lot of us want to answer as well. And it's certainly one that, if I didn't have the choice to answer, I would prefer not to. And in losing someone that's special to us, and losing someone that we love, we have to come to terms with the fact that they're gone. But how do you get over that? How do you get over the fact that the person you used to love, the person you used to connect with and share a relationship or share a connection with, is just suddenly left your life? Whether that be unforeseen, whether that be through mutual breakup, or even just the unforeseen passing of someone or a family member. It's to deal with the grief is to be human, yes, but that doesn't make it hurt any less, does it? And I think the grief is there, always. The grief will stay with you, no matter how hard you try to forget it, because I think grief, and to move on from grief, and to move on from losing someone, isn't to forget. I think it's to come to terms and accept that they've gone, to accept that they've left, to accept that they're no longer part of your life. Grief is strange. It's strange because it stays with you. It stays with your character, it stays in your mind, it stains your soul. Because as as much as it hurts, and the more it hurts, is the more it proves how much you loved and cared for that person. I think love and pain go hand in hand because they reflect each other so well. Because I think that without pain, then there will be no love, and without love, there will still be no pain. And it's like that one saying that I think that the price we pay for love really is sorrow and pain. It's the price we are willing to wage and sacrifice in trying to find someone to love us. And it feels like when we find that someone, it feels like we're happy, but once that's taken away from us, it's this grief and this sorrow. I encourage you to just sit with me, and if you clicked on this video to try and, I guess, find some advice to try and move on from that certain someone, or to try and move on from the passing of someone. This is I guess what helped me to get through the difficult times. And it's that one decision. It's this one decision that you have to make, and realize that if you don't make it, then you'll never get better. It's this one decision to either stay in grief, to stay in sorrow, to stay hurting because it's comfortable, or to help yourself up and be the shoulder, be the hand that you grab and stand up and find something to try and help yourself. Because the latter option is hard, a lot of people don't end up choosing it. And for the longest time, I didn't. For the longest time, I let myself simmer in my own pain and my sorrow, because it was comfortable, because it felt familiar, it felt nice almost. There's a certain peace that you find in sorrow and depression, of just letting yourself just be sad. Although unproductive, although it is a disease that a lot of people can agree is harmful to us and is not really to our benefit, there's still a sense of comfort that we find when we're in depression. Because it's easy to let our emotions overrun us. It's easy to let ourselves feel the way we feel. But it's this one decision that breaks or makes if you get out of the depression or stay in it and dwell in it forever. And it's to choose to finally become better. It's to choose and to actually tell yourself that you want this for yourself. And in doing so, then you've already made progress. A lot of people, when they come to try to come to terms with their grief, and then they try to go on this healing journey, and they try to find themselves after they go through a drought, which is normal. I went through a lot of, times where I felt stagnant, where I felt like I wasn't getting any better, and at times where I felt like I was even falling back. Sure, there were times where I felt that I was over the moon, and I was finally, finding myself and getting over my ex. And there were also times where I felt like my life was just shit. I felt like my life was shit. I felt like her leaving me was the most devastating thing that's ever happened to me, and I felt like I would do anything to have her back. And it's crazy, isn't it, that there would be times where we just feel like we're so happy and we're so content, and that could just change in a snap, just like that. We're back. It feels like we're back to square one, and it's really weird, because we expect that progress on grief to be, you know linear, I guess, in a way, um that it just keeps getting better and better and better, which it does, yeah, with time. But time doesn't necessarily heal all wounds. It's the the acceptance that they're gone. It's the acceptance of grief, the acceptance of the absence of the person you used to love. And it's not that time doesn't help with it, it's only that time aids with the acceptance. And it's acceptance that gets us to move on. Like, you'll still be sad, yeah. I mean, the death of someone, the heartbreak, it's all sad. Like, you can still look back and be sad about your ex, and be like, that was a sad event, and look back and not dwell on it, but reflect on it as something that was tragic that happened to you. But what the difference between you looking back on it with sadness and still being content, and the difference between that and looking back at it and dwelling on your life, on the past, is acceptance. And a lot of people don't realize that. I think our main focus in moving on is to forget. But how are we supposed to forget someone who you loved so dearly? And the only thing that we can do to try and move on is to accept that they're gone. It's I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna tell you to do other things that aren't beneficial. It's just to try and accept that they're gone. To accept that they're not coming back. That they're living their own lives now. That's something you can't control. And the only thing you can control is yourself and your acceptance of it. You can look back on the memories and be sad about it, but it's what you make out of it that truly matters. And I think that's what we really need to hear sometimes. It's not that to hope and to yearn, like, I don't think yearning is healthy at all. I think it's just hoping for something that's not bound to happen, and hoping for something that's out of our control. And I think it's wasted time, and to just ponder and overthink and then overanalyze everything that we made in the relationship, every mistake. I mean, you can learn from the mistake, but once you let that mistake overrun you because you made it, thinking about it can't change it any more than it has already happened. And I think that's what we need to realize. So, yeah.